这个是 DDLC Doki Doki Literature Club， 首字母简称 DDLC， 在英文区里面。国内应该叫什么？心跳文学俱乐部吗？并不是因为没有日文我才选了英文的，是因为这个游戏原版就是英文，这也是其实也算剧透了。原版是英文，然后应该是有日文的翻译 ，Steam 上应该是有官方日文翻译。然后国内我想民间汉化组肯定也是有。大家是玩那个原版，比如说这个 help 一点开它是 the help file has been opened in your browser， 然后你 browser 打开一看，这里我就不把它显示出来了。第一行就是 basic help。To advance through the game, left click or press the space or enter keys. When at a menu, left click to make a choice, or use the arrow keys to select a choice and to activate it. 就没了。不，后面还有啊，全是英文。因为制作组这个看起来很像 Gal Game， 但实际上是一个美国佬制作的，叫一个 Dan。对我来说不是出现了，我大概看过一遍半的意思就是一遍是完整的看过。然后第二遍可能断断续续看的精华部分，比如说skip unseen text after choices， 暂时先这样就好了，后面反正中间能调的，音乐稍微轻一点。来吧，我记得全部打完可能也就1个半小时了，1个半到2个小时，可能不是很长。打到第一个那个还有名字的，这后面我有出 bug， 这里就希卡利好了，应该没有语音吧？这搞的嘛，真的像 Gal Game。没有语音的话就要念了。Hey, I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like he's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. 这样子。这个操作倒是跟普通 Gal Game 是一样的。That girl is Sayori， 还取蛮日文名字。My neighbor and good friend since we were children. 我们英文游戏就用英文的名字。You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today. But it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waking up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away.However, I just lie and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again, but I called you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. 这个台词可能还是日文翻译更有趣点，但是我一定要用英文，因为英文是原版。You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's me, Hikari.Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we are a couple or something. Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Hey. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute.And by the way, Hikari, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already. I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. 这挺像我的。That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did. In one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about.Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Waha, I was talking about how I'm worried about you, that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. LIZE 这是美式英语。Your happiness is really important to me, you know, really. And I know you're happy now.But I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you are not used to the real world. You trust me, right? No. Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I will look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise you will try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? 妈呀，这英文读起来是有点累啊。More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. 它有很多存档点，9乘6 54个，但实际上我估计不到1页就够了吧，一共没几个选项。神转折应该是1个小时，1个小时左右，估计会玩到那个地方，然后就差不多，这期可以结束，长一点，看能不能读得动。这读了没？I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind 啊，读过 ，exaggerate. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. 这个背景是用什么给别人找的？还是说真的自己画的？不太可能，那是免费素材。After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you are even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know what? 这 club 这标题是什么？这 literature club 那肯定是 literature club. Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori, yeah. There is no way I'm going to your club. Mini. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. 他是副的，真的谁啊？那个长直吗？ Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. 好像一共就4个角色，男主的脸是看不到，然后没有男配的。In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member, and Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Hey. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. So cunning. I let out a long sigh. Fine. I will stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. 行きましょう。And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. 没问题啊。Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to Literature Club. It's pleasure to meet you. Girl 1, Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously, you brought a boy. Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Hikari, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Are you sure? What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki? The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. 哦，对啊，老大是那个人 Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica. Is that right? No, that's wrong. It's great to see you again, Hikari. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. I don't know. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. 哦，真的假的？ Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Oh, basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little scared. You too, Monica. Come sit down, Hikari. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. 哦，这不在选项了吗？ I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As I already mentioned, it's being widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuli walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuli opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in the hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Wow! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute, 没例会，没图片。I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Haha, well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica, I follow. It's delicious. Sayori takes with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. I thought you technically did, Sayori said. Well, maybe, but not for you, you dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuli returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Hey, don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuli is trying to impress you. That's not. Insulted, Yuli looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. 到这儿你就发现，它这个 BGM 一直没变，在那个家那边是一首，然后在那个教室是一首。这个照理说正常的 Girl Game 这里应该已经有3首 BGM 出现了，起码有3首。所以这个就是坑爹的咪咪作品，咪咪 Game。Yuli faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay, don't be embarrassed. We will make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of a literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuli also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you are both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can already grow this club before we can graduate. Right, everyone, yeah, we will do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. some different girls all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. 哎，它这个字体能不能变大？看一下。auto fault 嘛，还能 auto fault。Mutual sound music after choices 好像没用啊。能 auto 是吧？这 auto 多少说过 ？Maybe that's why they were all delighted by the idea of a new member joining. 算了，自己点吧。Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. No, I don't. So, Hikari, what kinds of things do you like to read? Considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. No, not much a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuli's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuli? Well, let's say. Yuli traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuli goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimum level. At this rate, Yuli might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really, I wouldn't have expected that, Yuli. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud. Don't give that back. Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on her shoulders. Okay, shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems. I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer, yet I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest riches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuli? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's same for Yuli. I want you to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuli look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we will all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Hikari? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we are back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All 4 girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought, Hikari, you all, I defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Beautiful. Alright. Okay, I've decided then. I will join the literature club. One by one, the girl's eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone, I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Hikari, I look forward to see how you express yourself. Hey, yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuli and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Hikari, since we are already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well, yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 4 girls. 现在发现了这原版肯定是英文，因为读到现在没有任何的一句那个错误。那翻译的话多少会有点错误，毕竟是民间的免费游戏。Sayori, Natsuki, Yuli, and of course Monica, and of course. Well, I'd really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club. Perhaps I will have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. 能选啊 Alright, I will just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. OK, 这里其实可以先掐一下。好，还玩这个的，其实是可以掐的，但是我想玩一口气把它玩到那个地方。It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. 就3个人，为什么没有第4个？那个 Monica 不在是吧？这要让我选了，这先走谁的剧情呢？这道理是一样的。那先走那个 Natsuki 好了。因为从性格来说，反正不是Sayori就是 Natsuki 了。那我来选。私人秀。当たりましたね。他们Vivacious 很多词我都不认识，不是很多词就这个还有 Fickle 也不太认识。Happiness 肯定是他，Happiness 居然是他，不是意外的。这 Candy 肯定是Sayori肯定是 Natsuki， 名字容易记。卡哇伊肯定是 Natsuki。Vacation 有点难判断。Misfortune 肯定不行的，这肯定要正面的，这个应该是个腹黑角色。Skipping Summer 试一下。打猎，Color Kitty Flower Sticky Kitty 打猎，Death 肯定是他，想都不要想，我绝对不会选这个。Ocean 居然是Sayori，过anime的，打猎 ，Smile， 这意外这也就是说 Smile 是不是他的？是反过来想也是有点可怕。Aura Lazy Sweet 没有，Sweet 什么情况？加不了了吗？哑巴斯基来说 ，Awesome 应该Sayori的，80。Cage Game 应该没问题吧？哑巴斯基，Poof on Restrict Chair Chair 跟 Dry 我不记得都是Sayori的，那这里已经没有什么词能适合他了。果然 Scars Pink 应该没问题。Journey Shiny Funny Doki 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 就我已经不想说下去了。Milk, lollipop, two. 好，是吧？Hi again, Hikari. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. 啊哈哈，这必须要 run away。看那些词，你看那些词，那 don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Hikari. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you are not accustomed to it. 当然我有可能中间掐掉了，就比如说最后录了1个半小时，然后掐成3段，也是有可能的。Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year, and last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck back between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Hikari always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. So helps me with busy work without me even asking. Look, like cooking, cleaning my room, how dependable. Sorry, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your mouth on a fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Hikari can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuli even brought you something today, you know. Wait, Sayori. Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? No, never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuli. I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It will make me happy no matter what. If that's so, yeah, it won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright? Well, here, Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is, how is this girl accidentally being so cute? Really? Is she cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I will like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I will definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuli's face already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approached her in case she needs a hand. You look for something there. Freaking Monica. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. 以前变了什么? Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you are really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a long volume of manga amidst in a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is. Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. 可怜呢，强迫症。I know that feeling. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Part1 Girls. It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you are gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I will tell you one thing, Hikari. Consider this a lesson straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Part1 Girls from the box. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire, striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Wow. Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the window sills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Signaling 不是要多一个 L 的吗？这难道也是英式跟美式的区别吗？ Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't say that. Don't just say that. You will make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arm and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry, I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. 除了那个之前选单词的，有些单词很鬼畜以外，目前还没有出现任何鬼畜的东西，但是总会来的，该来的还是会来的。I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then. Not really. Maybe sometimes late after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am. But nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school, typically slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of this, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be a plot? Well, obviously, you think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot. I mean, well, I guess I know what you are saying. A lot of beginning is about simple things, like there's a really funny chapter where they are obsessed with a guy at the ice cream shop, but that just helps you get to know the characters, and besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama, like when they get into all their backstories and when some of the romance starts to happen. That's really what makes it so good. There are so many touching parts. Is that so? It sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, wait. What's that supposed to mean? Wow, Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't yet seen you at your full power. God, good save. This chapter seems like it's about baking. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well, Natsuki pauses for a moment as if she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah, why does that matter? It doesn't. I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? That's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got this manga. Like I would ever get into anything because it's in a manga. I feel bad for anyone that's impressionable. Ahaha. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? 嗨 Kita 你不觉得 C 期有点诡异吗？这个角度。We read on for a few more minutes. I have finished a couple chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not, even though you are just watching me read. Well, fine with that. If you say so, I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not. Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Couldn't you not rub it in? 哦，之前有个选项是 friend 应该是他。Jeez, sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet. Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems, maybe, but at least you are enjoying yourself, right? So, ahaha, geez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah, I flip the page. Suddenly, Natsuki starts laughing. Ahaha, 疯了吧? I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is my favorite character. Minori 是谁？不是 Mimori. You always feel a little bad for her since she's so unlucky. But it gets especially bad when I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Just finish this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, then I can't understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience. The thought makes me smile a little to myself. Okay, everyone, are you all ready with today's poems? Oh, come on. Could your timing be any worse? Sorry, I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there. Ahaha. Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Alright, guess I will stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You are just giving it back. Don't you want to know what happens? Yeah, but Monica just said, don't be dumb, just take it home with you. Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I really didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course, it would take forever to finish if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And if it gets banned, I will kill you. By tomorrow, I only got part way through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then, I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find such much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait. Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuli reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. 哦，还有选项，我之前那个其实也是有选项的。那既然都决定那个的话，是这样。I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? That's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monica said, well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. I hope you are happy. So in other words, you are saying you liked it. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. You don't understand anything, do you? I always told you that you don't have to go announcing it to the world like you are all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Fine, guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. Click out poem error to continue. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, oils can seek. Cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can fly, but that's about it. Roses are red, violets are blue. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. What? Just be honest. I am. No, I'm not. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Because it's so childish. Well, because everyone in high school thinks I'm writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. 等我把手腾出来。But isn't 这没多来，这 auto 关掉，sorry打开。But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? So your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yeah, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard, like in the poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. 一个都要来了是吧 Oh my goodness, this is so good, Hikari. I love it. I had no idea you were such a good writer, Sayori. You must be seriously overreacting. I'm not a good writer at all. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. Well, maybe that's why, because I have no idea what I like either. Ahaha. Geez, I'm sure Yuli's opinion has to be a little more constructive than this. Are you sure you don't like it just because I wrote it? Well, I'm sure that's part of it. I think I understand you better than a lot of other people, you know. So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem, it's a Hikari poem. And that makes it a few extra special. Like I can feel your feelings in it. Sayori hugs the sheet against her chest. You are so weird, Sayori. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you are really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course, I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I will break my promise. See, it's like I said before, Hikari. Deep down, you are not selfish at all. You know, trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you that. Then, yeah. Now you will read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We will see about that. 批战变了。Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me, kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you, really. Yeah, especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late to school, expect to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. Hey. This was so much fun. Monica's best. Yeah, but the next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah, why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad. No, did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine. I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right. It's just that there are specific writing habits that you are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in the new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuli finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to her, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if there's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? 这字好难看，不，这不是好难看，好难看懂。Ghost under the light. 第一个什么是 tendrils？ 先这样 tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green. 这我实在看不懂。Blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. 这个就是说到这扯个闲天啊，就以前这个书写字体，我的字是比较潦草的，但我觉得再潦草不重要，潦草跟这种比较个性的字体其实都没啥区别，重要的是让人看得懂，这就比较难看懂。虽然写的是比较好看，很难看懂，就不太可以。I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. Yeah, yes, definitely terrible. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Yeah, definitely. Well, I just don't read script very often. Script. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. Pretty is pretty, 但是你需要理解，需要花时间去习惯它的那个这个写法，就跟有些人有口音一样，你要花一段时间去习惯。It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I want to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Hikari, really. I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all, but remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to the ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing, and that's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think of that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I will have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. 最后一个了，莫妮卡。Hi, Cuddy. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you are new and everything, if you ever have any suggestion for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I will keep that in mind. Of course, I will be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Ahaha! Don't worry, Hikari. We are all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we will all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like it, Hikari. Ready? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Ahaha. Oh geez. No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer too. So take that as a compliment. Ahaha. If you say so. Yep. But by any chance, have you read anything by Shel Silverstein? Huh? Maybe a long time ago. He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. His poems can be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they are only a few lines long. They might even feel like they are written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody. I see. So you are saying that Natsuki is kind of like that, sort of. Maybe she's not an expert, but you probably won't find much filler in her poems. That might be easy to write, but they are super challenging to get the meaning through. meaning through. I can see why would be your kind of poem to explore. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased toward their own kinds of styles. But I will always help you find what suits you the most. So you don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Ahaha! Ahaha还行。Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? No, don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's cause I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, I see. Well, let's read it then. 这个字就清楚很多了。Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction that the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I would never know. I wasn't home. I peered inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a flame left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of my meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into anything, a hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. Oh my, 看一下. So what do you think? It's very freedom, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Haha, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany. Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you are writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you will never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper, then tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you will just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. 结束了. Phew, I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they are just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all, I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really doesn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it. And Hikari did too. So based on that, I will gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Hikari liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Huh? That's not what you addressed. Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you are just jealous that Hikari appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Hikari started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki, that's a little. This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Hikari, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Hikari. Wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Hikari? Well, how did I get that dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whoever I agree with, they will probably think more highly of me. 还真有，这里嘛 Yuri, you are really talented. Well, but Natsuki has a point. I think that I racked my brain in an attempt to back myself up. I think that conveying feelings with few words can be just as impressive as well. It lets the reader's imagination take over, and Natsuki's poem did a really good job at that. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Aha, shows how much you know. That's not Natsuki. I think that's enough. Me? But she was so mean to me. Natsuki's voice wings. Look, what we talked about yesterday was right. Writing is really a personal thing. And sharing it can definitely be hard. It looks like we learned that today. Even small criticism can lead to something pretty heated. I glance over my shoulder. Sayori nodding vigorously. Yeah, so you don't need to feel threatened. You are a great writer, Natsuki. Natsuki's voice gets caught in surprise. Thanks for noticing. She finally mutters that, barely audible. Yuri. Yuri looks at me dejectedly. With a face like that, I can't help but feel bad for her as well. I'm sure that Natsuki didn't mean everything she said. So you don't need to feel threatened either. Well, if you say so, hey, it's not like you need to apologize for me, Hikari. Sheesh. Natsuki takes a breath. The thing about, Natsuki glances around the room. Would everyone stop staring at me? Unsurprisingly, Natsuki has a harder time with it than she boasted. Sayori and Monica look away. Anyway, the thing about your boobs, I didn't mean it, okay? That's all. Natsuki looks away, avoiding eye contact with anyone. Yeah, you are naturally beautiful, Yuri. Sayori, I will go make some tea. Huh? I was just trying to help. I'm sure she appreciated Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. Well, now that we are past that, everyone's read each other's poem, right? I hope that it was worthwhile for everyone, especially you, Hikari. And to be honest, it's a nice change of pace from the lazing around we got a little too used to. Ahaha. So my joining the club was responsible for ruining the atmosphere. No, not at all. There's still time before we go home. So we will all relax for a bit. Of course, besides chatting, we do literature-related things in the clubroom. So maybe you can take the chance to pick up a book or do some writing. After all, that's what the club is for. I disagree, Monica. About what? That's not the most important thing about the literature club. The most important thing is having fun. Haha, of course. Well, I guess that's why you are the vice president, Sayori. Hehe. In the end, though Monica's right, being the literature club probably means I can't spend all my time doing nothing. But in the end, I guess it's been worth it so far. Okay, everyone, it's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I did say it was worth it. It was alright, well, mostly. Hikari, what about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with anyone. Awesome. In that case, we will do the same thing tomorrow, and maybe you learn something from your friends too, so the poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Hikari, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Hehe. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they are both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends like you. Phew, you know, Hikari, it's nice that I get to spend with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's every day is going to be so much fun. Sigh, it looks like Sayori still hasn't caught onto the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We will just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay, yeah, let's do this. 这里能存档是吧？那先掐一下，这个喉咙吃不消了，连续这个读1个小时还是有点累的。掐一下，这请到这儿，这样可以回到桌面吗？应该可以了吧？cute， main menu， 就一共就是4个人。